welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic. Yo ho, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Now, since I'm going as a pirate for Halloween, I've shown you already the DIY for my rum here. I guess it looks rum-like, I have no idea. I've only had them in margaritas. But, what's a pirate without a hat? Now, I found that this hat that I got last year at Kmart, I think it was like $5 because it was after Halloween, is too big. No, I lied. It's too small for that. My dread wig I plan on wearing. And that's slowly being assembled, my costume now. Costume, quote unquote. Stuff I wear normally that's piratey. So I couldn't quite figure out how to attach the hat. That's why I didn't wear it for the Renaissance fair, because I tried safety pins, I tried those clips, these clips right here, neither of which worked. So I'm like, I found one at Ocean State, and it was a Captain Jack Sparrow costume for a dog. And the hat was a little tiny hat with like little dreads on it. I'm like, well, okay, well, if the big one won't fit, maybe I'll go to it with a little teeny tiny hat, and that'll just look funny with the big hair and the teeny tiny hat. So I'm like, okay, I will go there. Went to one and they didn't have it. So I'm like, well, let's see if I can find a pattern for something like that on the web. And lo, I did. At a place called fleecefun.com, and there's patterns for 4 different sizes. I made the small and the large. I was hoping the large would be, hat size. And this is what I consider large. The top part's, scrap piece of the actual soft felt, which blends in pretty nicely. And this is the hard, kind of almost a cardstock in and of itself. So I didn't have to fold anything over, I just sandwiched the 2 pieces. And again, this is just some more elastic, just stuff that I had on hand. And wasn't quite sure. This actually feels a little heftier than this, but this should hold up pretty decent too. I just, it doesn't give you the nice smooth round edges you would probably, want. Still haven't quite figured out how to fold it. Is one side supposed to be bigger than the other? I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't talked to any pirates. I don't know. But that's what mine looks like anyway. So now, on to this. I actually should have some nice fluffy stuff in the front here. But these aren't, this is the large hat. And they're kind of meant to be more lady-like, not the actual giant pirate hat. So, kind of hoping that it was bigger, but I think you could probably tweak it so you can make it bigger, the pattern. But I made this one, and this is all stuff I had on hand, and it needed something in the front, so that's the large one. So that's the one all finished. And it calls for like a soft felt, and I shall never underestimate the power of floppy felt again, because when I think of felt, I think of the dinky stuff that you make stuff out of when you're like in kindergarten. It's not like a viable art form type thing, at least I had that mindset. But this is actually like more of a cardboardy type felt. They call it felt, but it's not quite. So I didn't do it quite the way the pattern said. All I had to do was just sandwich 2 pieces together. So this is a stiffer felt that doesn't work as well, and that's part of the pattern. But this is the one. But this is the one made out of actual felt. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be, this floppy, not going to last cheapo thing. I've picked up hats at Renaissance fairs that are just as good as this, that are like expensive stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I was stunned how sturdy it managed with felt and cardstock and hot glue and random crap I just sort of had floating around. I think I need something in the middle there. I'm not quite sure. I've got little doodahs and thingamawhatsits, but that's it. And that's just some, they said to use cording, but all I had was some, that stretchy stuff, what the heck you call it? Elastic. That pretty much did the same thing. So it makes it look even fancier. And this is just, I'm just surprised how sturdy this is. I like this so much I went and made the big one. So I glued the elastic so I could like cut it out if I need to. So it's a little loose for my head, but it's just got to fit over that. So this is the little one. I just love this thing. Now I want to make more, but I ran out of felt. And it's just, you know, little bits and pieces of stuff. I still have plenty more, and that's just a small, teeny percentage of what I have. Some of which I didn't even use. And that's probably the large one there. That's pretty much what it's supposed to look like. The kind of 1700s type thing. I would have loved that stuff though, with like the beading hanging down, which is what gave me the kind of idea to push that up. Pirate hat or tricorn hat, which would be, you know, Minutemen, American Revolution. And again, that pattern's from this company. It was the first one I came across too. So the directions I kind of had to cut and paste from the website because it, you know, it didn't quite make sense the way they had it set up. But easy to do. The pattern becomes part of the hat. It's awesome. Thank you for watching. Do comment if you've made a hat. I'd like to see if you have, and if you plan on doing this particular project. Or tell me what you're going to be for Halloween. And of course, I'm hoping we have it on Halloween this year. It's like it's supposed to rain. I'm like, we've had freaking snowstorms 2 years in a row that canceled Halloween. I have to deal with this rain. So now she's trying to figure out how to layer. But do tell me what you're going to be for Halloween. And as always, subscribe. There's always room for one more at Ye Strange and Exotic Mateys.